Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're really digging into some pretty significant developments happening, right, where online payments meet, well, the whole fast-moving world of digital currencies.
Absolutely. It feels like things are shifting, and this particular news involves a major player from traditional finance making a really strategic move onto a specific blockchain.
Exactly. And this isn't just tech jargon, is it? It sounds like it could actually impact how money moves around the globe.
That's the potential, yeah. Making it faster, maybe cheaper, more accessible for, potentially millions of people.
So we've got a bunch of sources here, articles, reports detailing this specific move and giving us some background on the companies involved.
Which is key, understanding who these players are.
Right. So our mission today is basically to unpack this news, figure out the why behind it, and maybe explore what it could mean down the road.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the heart of it is PayPal. And I mean, most people listening know PayPal, right? They're huge in fintech.
Oh, yeah. Been around since the late 90s. Came out of Confinity, merged with Elon Musk's X.com.
Ah, yes, that famous bit of history.
Went public, got bought by eBay, spun off again. Quite the journey.
A real fixture in digital payments. And their scale is immense, operating in, what, over 200 countries?
Hundreds of millions of accounts.
Yeah.
That global footprint is, well, it's really important context for what we're talking about today.
Definitely gives them reach. They haven't exactly been sitting on the sidelines with digital assets. Our sources mention back in August 2023, they launched their own stablecoin.
That's right. PayPal USD, or PYUSD. The idea from the start was a stable digital dollar specifically for payments, for transfers.
Trying to blend that stability of the dollar with the potential benefits of blockchain tech, like speed or lower costs.
Exactly that. And until now, as our sources point out, PYUSD has mostly been active on Ethereum and Solana.
Two major platforms, Ethereum, the big smart contract player, and Solana, known for speed. Makes sense.
Yeah, logical starting points. Covers a lot of ground in the existing crypto ecosystem.
But the real news, the reason for this deep dive, is the announcement looks like it came out around June 11th, 2025, based on the sources that PYUSD is coming to the Stellar blockchain.
And this isn't just ticking another box, adding another chain. This feels very targeted. Stellar has a specific focus that seems to align perfectly with a payments-focused stablecoin.
And it's worth flagging, the sources are very clear this isn't quite a done deal yet. It's pending final regulatory approval.
Crucial point. Yeah, the New York Department of Financial Services, the NYDFS, needs to give the final okay.
Why them specifically?
Well, PayPal, or rather the entity issuing PYUSD, is regulated in New York. And stablecoins, especially from regulated players like PayPal, face pretty tight scrutiny. So the NYDFS reviews the technical side, how it'll work on Stellar, before giving the green light.
Got it. So announcement made, intention clear, but one final regulatory step, which brings us to the big question. Why Stellar? They were on Ethereum, on Solana. What does Stellar bring to the table for PYUSD?
Okay, yeah, this is the core of it. The sources really highlight Stellar's strengths for payments, especially cross-border. Think near instant speed. Think really, really low fees.
Near instant and low cost. That sounds, well, very different from sending money internationally sometimes, right? The fees, the delays.
Precisely. That's what Stellar was kind of designed to tackle. Its network is robust, apparently covers over 170 countries. But it's not just the blockchain itself. It's this network of anchors.
Anchors. Explain that a bit. Why are those so important for a stablecoin meant for payments?
They're fundamental, really.
Yeah.
They act as the on-ramps and off-ramps. So you need a way for people to easily get their local money into the digital currency, right? That's the on-ramp.
Okay.
And just as important, maybe more so, they need to get it out at the other end back into their local cash or bank account. That's the off-ramp. Stellar's anchor network connects the digital rail to the traditional financial systems globally.
Ah, I see. So it bridges the gap. It makes the digital dollar usable in the real world, not just inside the crypto space.
Exactly. It makes it practical for everyday people, for small businesses, especially in places where maybe the traditional banking system isn't great, slow, expensive, maybe not even accessible to everyone.
Which ties into Stellar's original mission, doesn't it? Financial inclusion.
It really does. The Stellar Development Foundation set out to build infrastructure for cheap, fast global transfers, particularly for underserved regions. It's interesting, some sources mention that one of PayPal's own co-founders originally had a similar vision for PayPal way back when.
Really?
Yeah, aiming for that kind of low-cost global accessibility, a vision perhaps not fully realized then. And now, here's PayPal leveraging a network built specifically for that purpose.
It's fascinating how this shifts the focus for stablecoins. A lot of people think trading, maybe DeFi.
Right, those are uses. But PYUSD is positioned for actual payments, buying things, sending money home. Stablecoins, because they aim for that price stability, are kind of uniquely suited for these real-world money flows.
You get the tech benefit speed, maybe programmability, but pegged to a familiar currency like the dollar.
And cross-border payments, remittances, that's arguably one of the killer use cases where this technology could offer huge advantages over the old ways.
So we're talking about practical tools, like for someone sending money back to family overseas or a small business buying supplies from another country.
Exactly that. And the leaders at both PayPal and Stellar have said as much. PayPal's VP of blockchain, Meza Banaya, is quoted saying, "Cross-border is where digital currencies show real value, and this Stellar partnership is about enabling that."
And Danelle Dixon, the CEO at the Stellar Development Foundation, echoed that focusing on bringing stable crypto to people and small businesses, particularly in developing markets. It really spells out the strategy.
It underlines the strategic fit, doesn't it? They're targeting a huge existing market, remittances, small business trade where there are known pain points, and offering a specific solution, PYUSD on Stellar.
When you step back, it's quite something. PayPal, with its massive user base, its global reach, its experience dealing with regulations all over the world.
Decades of experience. They know the regulatory maze. Licensed money transmitters in the U.S., regulated as a bank in Europe. They've navigated all that.
So for them to choose Stellar, a network designed for efficient global transfers, it sends a pretty strong signal, doesn't it?
It really does. It suggests they're moving past just dipping their toes into digital assets. This looks like strategic implementation for a core business area of payments. And because it is PayPal, doing this acknowledges the regulatory side, hence the NYDFS pending approval. It's not a casual move.
It feels like they're bringing their traditional finance discipline, the scale, the regulatory know-how, into the digital asset world. This isn't some fringe experiment.
No, it's a major financial player, identifying a clear problem, cost, and speed in certain global transfers, and deploying a blockchain-based solution on a network seemingly tailor-made for it.
So does this signal a bigger shift? Are we seeing large financial institutions starting to view blockchain and stablecoins less as speculative things and more as actual usable infrastructure for everyday finance?
It certainly points that way. Using PayPal's reach and regulatory standing combined with Stellar's tech and network, it's a powerful combination aimed right at a real-world problem.
Really putting the utility into stablecoins beyond just crypto trading.
Absolutely. Addressing tangible pain points for potentially millions of users.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. What's the main takeaway from this deep dive into the sources?
I think the core message is pretty clear. PayPal bringing PYUSD to Stellar is a very deliberate strategic choice. It's about leveraging Stellar's specific advantages, the speed, the low cost, that global anchor network for on-off ramps to really target remittances and small business payments, especially in emerging markets.
Right. And while that final regulatory nod from the NYDFS is still pending, the move itself really highlights how stablecoins are being seen for their practical use in real financial transactions, not just as, say, trading tools.
It shows these major financial players aren't just watching anymore. They're actively looking for concrete ways to use digital assets to solve real problems.
It's a strong signal that stablecoins on the right kind of network are becoming serious contenders for moving value, especially where the old systems are clunky or expensive.
Yeah, this look into the sources really gives you a window into that evolution. Established players getting hands-on, finding specific applications.
Focusing on remittances and small business payments, huge global flows where efficiency gains could make a massive difference.
Exactly. It makes perfect strategic sense.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, here's maybe something to chew on. You've got PayPal's enormous network, hundreds of millions of users, merchants worldwide. Combine that with Stellar's architecture, built for cheap, fast global transfers with those vital links back to local banking. How significantly could this partnership actually disrupt traditional cross-border money movement?
Could it genuinely unlock new possibilities? Make things dramatically faster, cheaper, more accessible for ordinary people sending money home, for small businesses trying to trade globally?
It's definitely something to think about watching how this unfolds, a potentially transformative application of this tech.
It's indeed. a space to watch very closely.
Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We hope this walk through the sources gave you some useful insights into this really interesting development. Thanks for joining us.
Always good to unpack these shifts where finance and technology intersect.
Absolutely. Until the next deep dive, take care, everyone.